Yo guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I am DJ Kiz Walsh and welcome to a brand new video today here on the channel. I'm going to be comparing the brand new Denon DJ Prime 2 with the Pioneer XDJ-RX2. These two systems are direct competitors to each other. It's Pioneer's and Denon's take on the two-channel standalone mixer. Today I'm going to be breaking down all features and specifications and exactly which one I think is the best. So if you are new to the channel, then do make sure you subscribe with notifications on and also drop the video a like. Be sure to leave me a comment at the end of this video and let me know which system you prefer. I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you in this video, so be sure to add this to a playlist and re-watch it if you need to. If you are genuinely interested in buying either of these systems, then obviously it's worth doing as much research and listening to as many opinions as you can before investing in such an expensive piece of equipment. But if you are interested in buying them, I'll leave links to buy both of them down in the description. So let's get into it then. First of all, it's worth saying that both of these systems are very similar, okay? After doing hours of research, watching loads of videos and doing loads of reading about these two systems, it's obvious that they are pretty much identical, right? They pretty much do the exact same things. They pretty much have the exact same inputs and outputs. They have pretty similar creative features. But of course, today's video is about breaking down those details and figuring out exactly which one is best. So of course, both systems are two channels, they have two players on each side and they have a mixing section in the middle. The Prime 2 supports 3 USB inputs, 1 SD input and a hard drive bay on the underneath of the unit. Now this is fantastic because if you use that system often, it means that you can load all of your tracks onto that hard drive, put that in the system permanently. You don't have to worry about USBs, you don't have to worry about SD cards, and then all you can do then is just carry around a USB or an SD card with your updated tracks with new tunes on and plug that in, and then you've got a range of tracks available at the touch of a fingertip. The RX2 only has 2 USB inputs. Now, I wouldn't really see this as a big problem, right? Of course, it's always good to have extra inputs like the Prime 2 has, but it's not crucial, right? The fact that this thing has 2 USB inputs is still plenty. It's still good enough to where you can switch over between sets if you are going to use this in a club or you're going to use this in a bar. So of course you've got to give the edge to the Prime 2 there, but I definitely wouldn't be worried about only having 2 USB inputs. The biggest selling point of the Prime 2 is that Wi-Fi is enabled, and that means that you can stream music directly to the system. Now that is massive for the Prime 2. You know, something that Denon have been pushing recently in their new products, and it's definitely a big selling point for the Denon system. And of course, the RX2 doesn't have any streaming capabilities there, so you've definitely got to give the edge in that category to the Denon Prime 2. Denon Prime 2 can analyze tracks on the go. You can plug unanalyzed tracks on your USB into the system and it will analyze them, give you the beats per minute, give you the key of the track. The RX2 cannot do that, however, it needs to be run through Rekordbox first. Both systems have touch capacitive jog wheels, so no mechanical jog wheels for either of these, so they're both even in terms of that. Denon Prime 2 has 6-inch jog wheels, where the XDJ-RX2 actually has 5.8-inch jog wheels. You won't really notice a size difference here, although it is worth noting that the Denon Prime 2 definitely has slightly bigger jog wheels. Both jog wheels feature a display in the middle which will show the needle whereabouts in the track that they think is playing. Obviously that's good for scratching, that's good for doing stuff like loops as well. Both even in the screen in the middle of the jog wheels department. The Denon Prime 2, however, does show stuff like album artwork. You can even put a logo in there. Both systems have 8 performance pads. Both systems feature creative features such as the hot cues, slices, loops, all that stuff that you'd expect to feature above your performance pads. What I will say is neither features really creative kind of effects or anything like that. Like on the controllers, like we've seen with the DDJ-1000 and stuff, you get like beat effects, different sort of creative techniques above the performance pads. On these systems, it's more about loop functions. Both systems feature a 7-inch touchscreen on the middle of the top of the units. Denon DJ Prime 2 actually features multi-touch gesture screen capabilities, so you can drag things, you can pinch to zoom in, you know, stuff that the RX2 can't. Also, the RX2 screen is slightly laggy. When the two tracks are playing simultaneously, it's almost like the tracks are catching up with each other. They don't move at the exact same pace, the exact same time, which can be slightly annoying. Of course, that's something you would get used to if you used to use the RX2 often, but it's worth saying that the Denon Prime 2 definitely does have a better screen. It looks better quality, it looks brighter. The general layout and design definitely looks a lot more professional too. Prime 2 only features a filter color effects. Now, the RX2 actually features 4 color effects. So the RX2 finally wins a category versus the Denon. Prime 2 features 13 beat effects and the RX2 only features 8. Both have auxiliary inputs with independent volume control. Same goes for microphone. They have microphone inputs with independent volume control on that too. The Denon Prime 2 runs off the Engine Prime software. That is Denon's own DJ software. It's something that they are constantly trying to evolve, constantly trying to make better. What I will say is, as a Rekordbox user, I really like Rekordbox. I like the design, I like the layout. Of course, the RX2 is exclusive to Rekordbox, and you've got to say, you know, in my opinion, Rekordbox is a better software at current time than the Engine Prime software. Now, that doesn't mean that the Engine Prime software is bad. I'm sure once you play around with that, once you get used to that, it'll be just as good as any other DJ software that's out there. Both systems are a very similar size in terms of the diameter, the width, all that good stuff. Both are actually considered to actually be very good size for being a portable DJ. If you're thinking about buying one of these to take to weddings, events, bars, whatever you're thinking about in terms of what you're going to use this professionally speaking, it's going to be definitely something portable. You're going to be able to buy a bag for this or a flight case, and you're going to be able to travel it around with this just fine. So there you go, guys. I broke down all the features and specifications for you between the two systems. There's only one thing left to discuss, and that is the price. The Prime 2 comes in at $1,400. The XDJ-RX2 comes in at $1,600. So you've got to say the fact that the Prime 2 is $200 cheaper than the XDJ-RX2 is massive, because when we was breaking down features and specifications, of course, the Prime 2 is a newer system. You expect it to have some more features. You expect it to be a little bit more powerful than the RX2, because that thing is now a year, 2 years old. So the fact that it has more features and the fact that it is cheaper than the RX2 is massive, right? If you was thinking about buying one of these things, maybe for a club, maybe for a bar, maybe if you're buying it even for home use, you're going to want to get the most for your money, right? You're not going to want to settle for something less. You're not going to want to settle for something that has less features. So if you couple the fact that the Prime 2 has better features, more features, streaming capabilities, with the fact that it's also cheaper than the RX2, for me, there's only one clear winner in this race. Denon have done an amazing job in beating Pioneer in this 2-channel standalone market. You know, they've taken what they did with the RX2 and they flipped that on its head. They've given it more features, they pumped it full of steroids, and they've actually charged less for it. So you've got to give a big thumbs up to Denon and what they've been doing recently over the last few days, releasing their new flagship, releasing the Prime Go. They're obviously making massive steps in the DJ scene, trying to revolutionize, trying to create new things and give people more value for money. In my opinion, I definitely think that the Denon DJ Prime 2 is a much better system than the RX2. Of course, it is worth saying, if you're a bedroom DJ, if you're an up-and-coming DJ and you are thinking about getting one of these devices, it's worth bearing in mind that the likeliness is when you get into clubs, when you get into bars, you're going to be playing on CDJs or some sort of Pioneer system. And if you've spent most of your time at home playing on Denon system, if you spent most of your time learning the Denon software, the Engine Prime, it's going to be a hard transition to go from the Denon and the Engine over to Rekordbox and the RX2, or Rekordbox and CDJs, for example. So it's worth bearing in mind that if you want to pursue a career in DJing and you aspire to be in the clubs, there is going to be a learning curve there when you go from the Denon software and the Denon hardware to a Pioneer software and Pioneer hardware. That streaming capability is absolutely massive for the Prime 2, revolutionary in the scene and definitely something that DJs want to see more of. And obviously going forward, it's only going to get better and better, and the Prime 2 is the first step in that, so definitely be a part of that if you can be. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've come to some sort of conclusion about which you think is the better system. Again, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications on, and also drop the video a like. Make sure you leave me a comment and tell me which one you think is best. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you later. Bye bye.